I hope you're having fun reinforcing your new question and that you're starting to see the world differently. So in this section, I wanted to address interpersonal relationships. As often, particularly as parents, this is an area where we experience a lot of discomfort in our lives. Added to that, our interpersonal relationships are being watched by our children to see how to handle conflict, how to communicate, what love looks like, and a host of other things we'd really like them to get right in their own lives. So I'm going to use marriage as an example, but this model could apply to any relationship. Now, most of us believe that the purpose of marriage is to make us happy. And if we're miserable in our relationship, then the other person is at fault and should be replaced by someone better. And here's why that happens. When you first meet your partner, and particularly when you decide to get married, you're in the infatuation stage. So what we do in the infatuation stage is we put our partner on a pedestal. And then when we're looking up to them and thinking they're so amazing and they're fantastic and we're infatuated, which means we only see the good side of them, we don't see the bad, we think they're exactly like us. And what we do in that phase is we start to inject their values into our lives. So we try to be more like them, and we do things that they enjoy and hang out with people that they like and have conversations about things that they like to talk about. And we inject their values into our lives. And they're doing the same thing because most likely they're infatuated with us as well. So they've also got us on a pedestal and they're injecting our values into their lives. And so we all think we're very similar because we're actually molding ourselves to be more like the other person. But of course, that's not sustainable. So once the honeymoon phase is over and we start to land back on planet Earth again, our unconscious minds want us to get on with our true purpose on this planet, to fulfill our highest values. And in order to stop living out our partner's values and get back onto our own path, we balance this out by then seeing our partners as the extreme opposite. So where once we only saw their good, we now see only their bad. They are suddenly nothing like us, and we go into the resentment phase. We throw our partner into the pit. We say, you're nothing like me, but you should be. And there we start to inject our own values into their lives. And we say, you should be more like me. You should do what I do. I'm right. You are wrong. And we start to see them in a completely different light. And this is part of balancing out that thing of having them on the pedestal. They can't be on the pedestal, but we also don't want them ultimately to be in the pit. So the real purpose of marriage is not to make you happy. It is to help you to grow. And how we grow is by seeing that our partners and ourselves have all human traits displayed differently according to our own values. Nobody is good or bad. Nobody is right or wrong. Nobody's values are better than each other's. Our partners are there to help us to love those parts of ourselves that we would otherwise deny, the bits that we think only other terrible people have. And only when we can love all of ourselves can we love anybody else in their entirety. But we don't see ourselves fully, and so what we're doing is projecting those darker elements onto the people around us. They are bad. They are mean. They are uncompromising and stingy and unkind and difficult. And true love is when we see that all of us have all of those values, the things we've labeled good and the things we've labeled bad, where we appreciate each other's values and how these contribute to our own lives and to helping us to fulfill our own values. You see, often in a marriage, we actually marry somebody who's very opposite to us. And that helps us because if I have a very low value on food and my partner has a very high value on food, well, great, because then I can delegate the cooking to him, right? So when we see that each other's values are actually enhancing our own values and not detracting from them, then we start to love each other for who we are. So in the next lecture, I'm going to guide you through an exercise that will help you put your partner or your kids or anyone else on an equal footing with you and at the same time help you to find that wholeness within. So let's go and do that now.